Located in the indigenous lands east of Kakadu National Park, Cahills Crossing is widely considered one of the most dangerous river crossings on the planet. It spans the East Alligator River, a stretch of water heavily infested with at least 120 saltwater crocodiles in a just 6-kilometer stretch south of Cahills Crossing. Despite the risks to vehicles and pedestrians, the crossing still attracts tourists who come to watch these apex predators in their natural habitat. Not to mention the river also serves as a natural bottleneck for barramundi, and their famously larger sizes in this region furthermore make it a hotspot for avid fishermen. On March 17, 1987, 40-year-old Kerry McLoughlin and his 17-year-old son Michael set out to Cahills Crossing for a routine fishing trip. Despite being familiar with its dangers, the pair were eager to compete for who'd catch the most barramundis, and so there was no better spot that they knew than this one. At the river crossing situated on the eastern edge of Kakadu National Park, clusters of crocodiles frequently assemble to capitalize on the influx of fish during changing tides, a phenomenon known as floating fish behavior. These congregations can reach up to 40 crocodiles, drawing substantial crowds of spectators. It's important to note that the East Alligator River, also notorious for its strong currents, was nearing high tide on that day, making it significantly more dangerous to waders or crossing vehicles. This high water level not only made the river more difficult to navigate, but also enhanced its appeal to crocodiles, who are known to be more active and aggressive during such conditions. It's important that I advise before continuing the video that the following may be disturbing to hear. While fishing in about 5 feet of water, Kerry and Michael would notice a vehicle on the opposite bank, halted by the swollen river. Bizarrely, Kerry waded through chest-high water at this point to the vehicle to advise the occupants not to attempt crossing. Holding his fishing rod in one hand and a beer in the other, he informed them of the high tide and the presence of crocodiles. And just after advising them, Kerry turned back to return to his son, during which time he slipped into deeper water. Now Kerry, known locally as the man who could sniff out a lurking croc, hadn't noticed that a notorious crocodile known to locals as Eric was slowly approaching. From a different vantage point, Everett Galbraith, a 63-year-old tourist from Seattle, was nearby in a picnic area. He had been taking photos of the McLoughlins fishing when he had noticed Kerry re-enter the water. As he stood there alarmed at the fact that Kerry even entered the water, especially chest deep, he then shouted to Kerry, "My God, you've got a croc moving down there." But unfortunately, upon hearing his warnings, Kerry reached the middle of the crossing, lost his footing, and began to swim, and the croc spotted by Everett began closing in quickly. And this is when the situation rapidly escalated. Michael, witnessing the imminent danger to his father, reacted instinctively, scrambling to gather some stones from the riverbank and hurling them at the approaching crocodile in a desperate attempt to distract or deter it. Just as he attempted to climb out of the water, this is when Kerry would turn and suddenly see the croc just meters away, prompting him to instinctually toss his beer can at it and subsequently swing his fishing rod at the croc's humongous head as he simultaneously tried to reach the safety of the riverbank. The crocodile, undeterred by the stones and strikes from the fishing rod, would then launch a lethal attack. In a swift and gruesome moment, it then lunged forward and gripped Kerry's head in its powerful jaws, decapitating him instantly, and bizarrely would then proceed to snatch his headless body and swim with it downstream as a frozen Michael and a group of bystanders watched in horror. The 6 American tourists, who had come to Cahills Crossing hoping to witness the natural behavior of crocodiles from a safe distance, found themselves witnessing a haunting and unforgettable tragedy, and they could only watch helplessly as the crocodile disappeared with its victim into the murky waters of the East Alligator River. Within 10 minutes of the attack, a rescue boat was swiftly launched as a part of the emergency response, and a team quickly located the crocodile, a reported 5.1 meter or 16.7 foot behemoth, and like a scene straight out of a horror movie, it was still holding on to Kerry's body in the river. A tense standoff then ensued as the crew prepared to take decisive action to recover the body, and ultimately, a crew member took a careful shot, hitting the crocodile in the head, causing it to finally release its grip on Kerry's body, which then sank into the river as the crocodile itself disappeared beneath the water surface, never to be seen again. Police Inspector Keith Van Rangelroy later recounted the harrowing moments, noting that both Kerry and his son struggled to reach the safety of the bank. However, for reasons unknown, perhaps maybe due to the alcohol consumption, Kerry was unable to climb out of the water in time, and that's when the crocodile, which had momentarily disappeared under the murky water, resurfaced alarmingly close to him, and the threat became lethal. Each year, dozens of daring drivers attempt to traverse the submerged Cahills Crossing only to be swept away into crocodile-infested waters. Additionally, some individuals brazenly enter the water to fish, often accompanied, just like Kerry, by their children. And despite conspicuous warning signs highlighting the extreme risk of saltwater crocodile encounters, the crossing till today remains a popular attraction for tourists and fishermen. And yes, even at present, individuals continue to risk their lives, despite documented instances of amateur fishermen, families, as well as backpackers venturing into the water despite the visible presence of crocodiles. Renowned crocodile expert Graham Webb cautioned that for every crocodile visible, there are approximately 10 that are unseen, underscoring the elusive nature of these prehistoric reptiles. If this episode piqued your interest, then our previous episode about another fatal crocodile attack is likely to do the same. I'll leave it for you at the end screen.